Yo, what's up everyone? My name is Andrew Warren, and in today's video, this is going to be, of course, a pretty late upload. Yes, I understand this is a very late upload. Most likely by the time this is getting released, it's probably 4 a.m., maybe a little bit earlier on the West Coast side, but I have had some internet problems today, so just bear with me. I'm still trying to grind out these vids and end off the day, of course, with the 3 uploads as usual, just because I've been trying to keep it consistent lately. So bear with me on that. I hope you all understand. I've just been dealing with some internet issues, and I think it's finally fixed right now, so I'm good to go. But this video, once again, is going to be about Tesla, of course, as this is the largest position in my portfolio. Actually, really the only position at this point, aside from just the free stocks from referrals from you all. So with this topic today, of course, we've done the transparency update already. We've talked about the gains and losses, but to just run through the movement for yesterday, I guess so now, since it's early in the morning. But just to run through that, of course, for yesterday, we were at plus 1.38%, and that is plus $5.06 on the share price. And then in the after hours so far, we are at plus 1.20% or plus $4.46 on the share price. So near $10 added to the share price with yesterday and the after hours. So actually a pretty solid day, especially when you consider it in comparison to the rest of the stock market. I finally added VOO to a separate list right here, since for some reason, even though I added it to the top of this list, it just doesn't show up. So we just found a workaround for that. But as you can see, VOO, what I use is like just the general representation of the stock market. And this is at minus 1.46% for yesterday. And then of course for NASDAQ as well, which is like more tech focused, we have Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, all of these into the red except for a few like Adobe and Tesla. And then if you scroll down the list further, there's a few different ones here. I mean, even MFA Financial, it's green, but it's at 0.00%. And then of course, CCL, it has been gaining lately, and CCL does seem to be gaining on the days where especially the tech-focused stocks and just the general stock market seem to be going down. So like on the big general red stock market days, it seems like CCL is just almost inversing those days. So it's kind of interesting. It's recovering a little bit, but not much progress with that one. But mainly what I want to discuss with this video, I just wanted to run through the share prices and the movements for yesterday. But I want to talk about Battery Day and what we could see happening leading up to this date with Tesla stock. But as most of you all know, Battery Day is supposed to be happening on September 22nd, and this is a very long-awaited event for Tesla, and at this point, everybody is just ready to have it happen and not be delayed again. And honestly, I don't think it will be delayed again. I think it's actually going to happen this time around, but it has been delayed from like April to May, and then May to June, and then June to July, and then July to September, and then I think even the September date was delayed from the 15th to the 22nd. So many delays so far, and this is definitely a long-awaited event. It has a little bit of hype behind it right now. It's kind of similar to like Autonomy Day last year, and then not as popular, of course, as the Cybertruck unveiling, but it is a little bit just comparable in the sense that it was a Tesla event and Elon Musk is going to be speaking most likely and things like that. So there's definitely a lot of excitement around this one, especially regarding the topic of batteries themselves, since that's what this event is all about. However, I do think we could have some side announcements in addition to just some discussion around batteries. Honestly, I think we will have a Plaid Model S announcement, maybe show that off a little bit at that event, just to have that extra flavoring on top of everything else with it just being a discussion on batteries, since we have been getting a lot of hints from Elon Musk on Twitter recently. Earlier back in August, he did make a tweet, and it was a GIF or an image with someone in a plaid suit, and I think that was obviously a reference to the Plaid Model S, which we could see more out of with this event happening on September 22nd. So there's excitement around that, of course, but then also the main event is all about the batteries. So we're going to be learning likely more about some possible vertical integration with the batteries, and so there's been discussion around the million-mile battery as well, but I think that there's being a lot of hype put behind that, when I think it could be more about like the supply lines. Could we be seeing Tesla producing their own battery cells and things like that, and more things that are related to scaling the Tesla business, because that's all related to what matters right now. What truly matters for Tesla's future is scaling this business. That's the reason they're adding multiple gigapresses in the Fremont factory. That's why they're constructing 8 gigapresses in the Berlin Gigafactory, and then we're seeing so much progress and improvements on efficiency Gigafactories right now across the board for pretty much all of the factories working right now. And so that's one of Tesla's main goals. And with this increased production comes the necessity of an increase in battery supply as well. So I think we're going to get a lot of hints and information regarding that because it's important. And I read in a recent article in which it was stated that just Tesla alone would need all of the batteries in the world right now to keep up with their production. Now, don't quote me on that 100%. It's just something like off the top of my head that I remember glancing at. But still, battery supply is one of the constraints for Tesla right now. That's why they have a whole factory dedicated to the batteries themselves in Nevada. And even Elon Musk has also talked about how they really need people mining nickel right now. So I'm actually interested if we could see some possible announcement around vertical integration. Could we see Tesla starting up their own mining company, specifically just mining nickel, since that's exactly what they need? And honestly, that would be a huge advantage considering if nickel is in rare supply right now, then Tesla would be able to directly say, okay, we're mining nickel, but we're only providing it to our company. And that would be a huge advantage that they would have over a lot of these other EV startups right now that would need nickel as well for the batteries. So that would be pretty huge in my opinion if they just add that next level of vertical integration. And then of course that would just help with scale as well, just because vertical integration does help the company save more cost and things like that. So just addressing this event, of course, those are a few possibilities. We've also heard some discussion about the Plaid Model X. And then just as a side note, in addition to like the possibilities of the Plaid models and the battery discussions and things like that, you never know, they could sprinkle something crazy on top, like the announcement of them building another Gigafactory, whether it's in China or India. We have heard some rumors about India. That's actually been kind of a hot topic recently, especially in India, where there would be a huge market. And an analyst actually went on Yahoo and spoke about how there was going to be a factory in India and that they're actually looking into it right now. And he spoke about it as if he was confident in that information, even though there's not really like any sources backing it up. He spoke about it as if it was just pure fact and he already had that information about it. But regardless, these are just some possible things that we could be seeing happening with Tesla on Battery Day. But of course, we have to address the stock price as well. What do I think will happen up until this event? And of course, I referenced this in my portfolio update earlier today, but this just gives us a chance to talk about Battery Day more specifically. And of course, I know a lot of you all are hyped about this as well. So just addressing the days coming up until Battery Day. As we know, today is September 11th. So just in 11 more days, we will have Battery Day. So with this being almost around 2 weeks from now, I feel like the closer that we get towards Battery Day, we could actually start maybe seeing more of an incline in Tesla's share price. Now, I don't know what could happen over like these next 0 to 5 days, but I think especially that week prior to Battery Day, especially those 5 weekdays beforehand, I think that's where we could actually start seeing some hype building up for this, unless there is just a general stock market downturn that continues from now on. As we know, today is Friday, so if today ends up being red and if we have like this continued downturn next week, then there actually might be a situation where we don't see much of a buildup with Tesla stock in terms of it having some pretty notable green days beforehand. So I just want to emphasize that, especially like within these next 5 weekdays or so, if it does continue to be red and just the general outlook on the stock market is like fear, uncertainty, doubt, confusion, and things like that, then we actually might not see that buildup in Tesla's share price of it slowly having like these subtle green days over and over with just like a slight buildup, like we see with a lot of events, like with the stock split and things like that. So I just want to emphasize that if there is a general stock market crash or just like a downturn before Battery Day, then we could end up not even seeing like a notable movement on Battery Day, just because, as we know, Tesla and every other stock generally kind of mirrors the stock market trends when it's going downwards like this. As I mentioned in the portfolio review today, I mean, if you just take a look at it, Tesla, even the free stocks, and then VOO, that's like the general stock market, NASDAQ, Apple, they all start out like either close to the baseline or above the baseline, but they all have like that downturn just because they all tend to mirror each other, and that pattern kind of just follows across the board. But the good thing is, if we don't continue to see days like this for the general stock market, then I think it is kind of possible, especially within those like 4 to 5 weekdays up before this September 22nd event, then we can actually start seeing a little bit of a buildup in Tesla's share price. Now, I just want to emphasize, even though we see this buildup, it doesn't mean that it's actually going to last and the share value is going to stay at that price once it hits like a peak spot. So we could see a sell-off the day before the event, the day of the event, or the day after the event. However, if the stock market in general is going well, I feel like it's much more likely that the day after the event is when we could see a sell-off, or even the day of. However, at least on the day of, I think people kind of want to hold on to Tesla to see what they actually announce instead of selling off before the announcement. However, there will most certainly be some people in the market selling off the day of, but that doesn't mean that there will be more of them than people holding on to it. So there could be some people selling off, but more people holding it, therefore causing the share price to actually be in the green, or maybe even a little farther into it. Now keep in mind, nothing that I say or have said in this video is to be considered financial advice. This is me just straight up spitballing right now, just giving my predictions, off the cuff commentary like I like to do on this channel. So these are just casual predictions, nothing to take super serious, and I just want to emphasize that because short-term predictions are not something you can really have a lot of confidence in because it's short-term. Short-term is very unpredictable, and especially with Tesla stock, it's very volatile as well. Now I can confidently tell you all that I think Tesla stock will make me a lot of money in the future in 2030, 10 years from now. I can confidently tell you all that I think this price right now will look ridiculously cheap 10 years from now. I can say that. Now that's just my opinion though, of course. But in the short term, of course, I can't have that level of confidence just because it's not as easy to predict things short term with the stock market, and especially Tesla stock when I'm making predictions. That's just like a general rule of thumb. Long term is a little bit more easy to predict, and that's just because with long term, you have time for events to happen. You have time for people to realize the potential in a company and things along those lines. And especially with Tesla, 10 years just gives them a lot of time to prove analysts wrong and Tesla bears wrong, of course. So anyways, I just wanted to kind of dedicate a full video on Battery Day since I know this is a hot topic right now. People are excited about it, and understandably so. So I just kind of wanted to give some short-term predictions and take what I said as a grain of salt. My opinion could change tomorrow, or it could change 3 days from now, depending on how the market continues to move. Like I said, if we continue to see a general stock market downturn with many more market days like this in the future, then I might start to think, okay, maybe we might not see a buildup of the share price before this Battery Day event, or it could end up being red for Tesla tomorrow and red for Tesla for a few days next week. But still, I'm going to be taking advantage of the discount opportunities when I do have cash on the sidelines. And also, full transparency, I have been selling some personal things lately just so I can get some more funding for Tesla stock. So I am still working on that right now. I still have to get it to the bank, which it could be a while for that. But I just wanted to have that transparency there and let you all know that I'm actively working on selling some things that I have just so I can get some extra cash on the sidelines to put into Tesla stock. So anyways, please make sure to smash that like button if you all enjoyed this video, and also feel free to check out Robinhood and Webull in the description below. If you sign up with my referral link, you'll get some free stocks, and especially with Webull right now, you can get 2 free stocks valued up to $1,400 if you use my referral link and deposit $100 into your account. Keep in mind, you can take that $100 right back out after you get your free stocks. So it's basically just passive income, free money. Just wanted to let you all know about that, but hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week.